In the old days, before GPS, before air conditioning, before laminated driver's licenses and insurance cards, traveling was a much more vulnerable act. Journeys stretched across unpaved roads, weather could change without warning, and the space between towns often felt like the edge of the world. A man riding a horse-drawn cart through the wilderness, or a woman walking miles to the next village with her children, did not travel with certainty. They traveled with hope, caution, and sometimes garlic. Yes, garlic. Tied with twine and hung from the rearview mirror of a car in more recent decades, or tucked into coat pockets, travel bags, or the folds of a shawl in older times. This was no culinary choice. This was protection, a ritual that crossed borders and belief systems, passed down like a whispered warning. If you're going on the road, bring garlic. Because accidents aren't always mechanical. Because luck is not always kind. And because some things, be they evil spirits, ill fortune, or unseen dangers, can smell fear, but they retreat from garlic. The idea might seem strange today, when travel feels routine. But even now, you can see hints of this tradition. Garlic bulbs dangling from car mirrors in rural towns, or small sachets in glove compartments containing dried cloves. It's not always acknowledged, but it lingers. A superstition, perhaps, or maybe something more instinctual, something that feels like protection, even if it can't be measured. And yet, as is often the case with old customs, science gives us a surprising way to understand it. Garlic, it turns out, doesn't just ward off the metaphysical. It has a physical presence so strong, so disruptive, that it actively alters its environment. The smell of garlic is pungent, potent, and persistent. It clings to the air, to fabric, to breath. To us, that may be a minor annoyance. But to pests, it's a signal to stay away. Garlic sulfur compounds are natural repellents. Insects like mosquitoes, gnats, and certain flies hate it. Small mammals, rats, mice, even some species of wild scavengers, avoid it instinctively. In the pre-modern world, where roads were lined with brush and travelers often stopped to sleep outdoors or in unstable structures, this mattered. Garlic didn't just smell strong. It created a zone of discomfort for disease-carrying pests. It helped guard your food, your clothing, and your body. Rodents and bugs weren't just nuisances back then. They were threats. They carried diseases. They contaminated food. And they bit, sometimes fatally. In this light, garlic wasn't superstition, it was strategy. The strong smell in a traveler's pocket might have helped them sleep more peacefully in the wild, or kept sickness at bay in a crowded inn. The bulb swinging from a mirror might have been a subconscious echo of that earlier, lived wisdom. Garlic protects. But there's something even deeper at play here, something less about biology and more about belief. Garlic doesn't only change the space around you, it changes your perception of that space. If you're anxious, uncertain, worried about what might lie ahead on a long journey, the smell of garlic is grounding. It's unmistakable. It's alive. It links you to your ancestors, to a long chain of survival and resilience. You can feel it in your pocket. You can smell it on your skin. It tells your brain, you are not alone. And the mind responds. Psychologists have long known the power of placebo. When we believe in the protection of an object, whether it's a charm, a prayer, or a piece of garlic, we experience real, measurable changes in stress levels, decision-making, and even physical health. The body begins to follow the belief. Heart rate slows. Breathing evens out. Focus sharpens. And that matters, especially on the road. Imagine someone driving at night through a mountain pass, or across a long desert highway. The silence is thick. The lights are few. There's a tension in the air, the kind that comes from being too far from help, too far from certainty. And then there's that familiar scent, garlic, tucked into the dashboard or swinging above the windshield. It's absurd, maybe, but it's comforting. It says, you've made it this far. You'll make it the rest of the way. In this sense, garlic is a traveler's companion not because of its mystical properties, but because of its history, because it has been with us through war, famine, plague, and exile. It's the plant we take with us when we leave home. It's the food that nourishes, the medicine that heals, and the talisman that protects. Whether in a Roman soldier's pocket, a peasant's traveling bag, or a modern car on a lonely highway, garlic is always doing what it does best: keeping watch. So yes, maybe it doesn't absorb bad energy the way some legends claim. Maybe it doesn't literally stop accidents or deflect curses. But it changes the air. It alters the mood. It sharpens the senses. And in the quiet moments of uncertainty that still linger in every journey, that's worth more than superstition. That's the kind of magic rooted in reality. Garlic, in all its simplicity, continues to walk with us, ride with us, and stand guard, not just because it used to work, but because it still does.